and I will share my screen with you all. It's been a while since I've done this. There we go. And what we're looking at tonight are a few aspects of declarer play. And the ones we're going to look at are maintaining entries, establishing suits, things like winning in the shorthand, and related to that is unblocking. So some key aspects that occur both in no trump and often in suit contracts too, and different things to think about when you're planning the play. So let's have a look at a few hands, and here's one where South has opened 2 no trump. You've got a balanced hand with I think 21 points, but it was passed out, and you're declaring 2 no trump, and the opponent's lead the Jack of Hearts. And first thing you want to do in no trump every time, I suggest, is start off by counting your top tricks and then look at opportunities for more. So I'm going to let you do that. Count up your top tricks, how many likely tricks you've got, and then look where you might make more tricks. And once you've made a plan, I'm going to ask you what you're going to play at trick 1. You have a choice at trick 1 of winning this first trick with the King of Hearts, winning it with the Ace of Hearts, or of ducking, playing low from both hands. And I'd like to give you a few more, half a minute or so to make your plan, and then I'm going to launch the first of the polls tonight, which is what you're going to play at trick 1. Okay, so here comes that poll. What should you do on the first trick? Okay, let's end the poll, and I'll share the results with you. And the majority, 64%, have gone for winning it in hand with the ace. 27% said you should duck from both hands, and 2 people, that's 9%, said you should win it in dummy. And let's have a little think about this. And what we're going to do in no trump is start by counting our top tricks. And I hope you can all agree that you've got 2 spades, 2 hearts, and you've got at least 3 clubs. So 2 spades, 2 hearts, and 3 clubs. So you have 7 top tricks for sure. You don't have any top tricks in diamonds. And really the only place you'll likely be able to make many more tricks is in clubs. What you're hoping for is that the clubs divide reasonably favourably for you, and you have 8 clubs between you and dummy, and you're hoping that the opponents will clubs will fall in 3 rounds, and if they do, you'll be able to make a total of 5 club tricks. But what you have to do is maintain the King of Hearts as your only possible entry to dummy. And even if you don't think ahead that far and make a plan, it's always good on a hand where you've got a lot of entries in one hand. Here you've got South is a stronger hand with a lot of entries, and North is a weak hand with very few entries, to try to keep entries to both hands in case you need them. And here you can see that you do need the entry, the King of Hearts, in order to take the clubs. So when a heart is played, you play low from your hand, and it's actually those of you who suggested you duck are also mistaken, because if you make the mistake of letting them win win this one with the queen, they may play another heart, and now you'll have to take your ace, and you won't have an entry to the north hand. So it's actually, if I bring up the GIB button, you can say it's saying that to make an over trick, you need to play the ace here. Okay, so ducking is also a mistake here. You need to play the ace, then you switch to your clubs, and once everyone's followed 2 rounds, you now know you'll be able to take all those club tricks. So you play a 3rd round, then you cross over to the king of hearts, and you're able to cash those 2 clubs. You make those 2 extra tricks. After that, we're probably just going to make our spades. So we make our top 2 spades. Maybe we'll get another trick somehow here. But, otherwise, we'll just be held to 9 tricks. So if I just rewind that and bring that up, the key to this hand, when they lead heart, it's all about keeping the king of hearts as an entry so that you can take all your clubs. Just thinking ahead. Do interrupt me if you have any comments or questions on that one.
Tony, once the defensive won a club, what's to stop them playing another heart, given that that's what they led?
Say that again.
Why wouldn't the defense play another heart when they've taken their club?
Oh, the defense don't get any club tricks here.
Oh, sorry. No, I didn't mean clubs. I meant, sorry, wrong answer.
Okay, all right. Let's have a look at another one. This time you open 1 no trump. This is a hand where you've got 13 points, and although you have a 5-card major, it's a very weak major suit. So if it's a good major, I'd be more inclined to open 1 spade, but with only 1 honor, and that being the 10, it's probably best to open this 1 no trump. The problem of bidding 1 spade is if whatever your partner bids another suit, 2 clubs let's say, you then have to rebid 2 spades, which you don't really want to emphasize that suit as the suit quality is so poor. So you open 1 no trump, it gets passed out, and this time the opponents lead the queen of hearts. And again, we're going to start by counting our top tricks. So let's do that together. We've got 2 hearts, 1 diamond, and 1 club. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And obviously we're going to make some more tricks somewhere else. And again, I'm going to ask you the same question as last time. Are you going to win this one in dummy with the king of hearts, or in your hand with the ace, or are you going to duck from both hands? So I'll give you another few seconds to think about it. And I'm going to launch a poll very similar to the last question. What should you do on the first trick? Okay, let's end that there. And this time it's a tied result. 43% of you said you should win with the ace of hearts, 43% said you should duck from both hands, and 13% said you should win in dummy. So let's have a look at this. Now, obviously you need to decide what's the best source of tricks on this hand. And apart from the 4 top tricks we mentioned, 2 hearts, 1 diamond and 1 club, I think the best source of tricks here is in clubs. we've got all the top clubs apart from the king, and we should be able to make at least 4 club tricks here. Total of 4 tricks. If we can make 4 clubs, and we've got ace, king of hearts, and the ace of diamonds, that is our 7 tricks there. Now, how are we going to play the clubs? You might be thinking about finessing in clubs, but the problem with that is that you can only finesse once. So in other words, even if East has the king of clubs, and when you lead a club, you can only play the clubs once. You might win with the jack, then you've got to play the ace, and then you want to take the rest of the clubs. But the problem is that there are so few entries to the north hand that probably a much better bet is to give up on the idea of the club finesse and just play the clubs, but keep your king of hearts so that you can return to dummy when you need to. So just like the other hand, I'm going to win the first trick with the ace of hearts. I'm going to keep the king of hearts because I need that as an entry to the clubs. By the way, here again, when the heart is played, it's actually very important for you to play your ace here. The computer is saying here that if you don't play your ace, if you duck from both hands, which a number of you did here, you will be in trouble, because if they then play another heart, you'll be in dummy, but that will knock out your last entry to dummy. So the right play here is the ace here, and then we've got to play the clubs. So we're going to give up on the club finesse and just try and make 4 club tricks. So the way we can do that is play the ace of clubs, play the jack of clubs, and now here we're coming up to another key play, which is what to play from dummy. And again, if I click on GIB, the computer is saying that to make your contract, you've got to overtake. If you make the mistake of letting the jack win the trick, then if the opponents let you win that, you will then be in trouble, because your only way to the clubs is the king of hearts, and the clubs are not established yet. So to make this, you must overtake, and now you'll be okay. Whether they play the king or not, you'll be able to make the rest of the clubs. If they do take the king of clubs, they might play, well, they might decide to play a spade. That's not a bad idea, because they can see that weakness in dummy. And the opponents can actually take some spade tricks here. Okay, you can't really prevent that. But they can make at least 3 spades there. If I bring up the 4 hands at this point, you can actually see that East can now take another spade if they want to. On the other hand, that will set up a spade for you. So again, if I click on the GIB link, it's saying that he should not play a spade. That little 1 means that could lead to an over trick for declarer. So if East plays correctly, they'll lead another suit, maybe a diamond. But now you can cross over to the king of hearts, and you can take your remaining club tricks. You'll take your clubs and probably lose the last 2 tricks there. But you'll make your 7 tricks there. So that one was all about, again, thinking about where you want to win the first trick, maintaining your entries, and they're also overtaking in clubs to make sure you could take the club tricks. Anyone have any comments or questions on that?
Yeah, excuse me. There is a rule of 7. You add your cards, and if they are less than 7, -5 in the heart. According to the rule, you should duck it 2 times.
Okay, so the rule of 7, I mean, that's a good question. That applies when you have 1 stopper and the opponents lead the suit. So if I didn't have, if I only had 1 stopper, the ace, let's say, the rule of 7 would apply there, and it would suggest ducking twice. Here you have 2 stoppers, the king and the ace, and so normally, as we don't expect to lose the lead more than once, there's no need to duck here. So the rule of 7 applies when you have 1 stopper. and not in this case here because you have two stars. Okay, let's try another one. This was actually the one I think I sent out in email, and it was actually a hand that was played. Nearly everyone played this in 4 spades. The bidding went, well, it could have gone 1 spade, 2 diamonds, 4 spades, and very few people actually made this contract. Let's have a little think about it. In a suit contract, we normally count our potential losers, and we can see we're off to a bad start here because we have 3 diamond losers and the opponents have led a diamond. So they're likely to take 3 tricks there, and we're going to lose the first 3 tricks, I think. It also can be useful to count your top tricks here, and on this hand, that may help you. Have a little think for a minute and tell me how many top tricks you think you can make here. There isn't a poll on this. Just count up your top tricks and tell me how many you think you've got. You could unmute yourselves. Anyone like to volunteer an opinion?
10.
Well, we're hoping to make 5 spades, 1 heart, and we're hoping to make 4 clubs.
Yeah. The
Okay.
10.
So if you can make those 10 tricks, you'll make your contract here. And fortunately, the opponent can only take 3 tricks to start with, but you need to bear that in mind that you have 10 top tricks. So let's suppose they start with the ace, king, queen of diamonds, and suppose they play a heart now. Well, you mustn't mess around here playing low, trying to win with the queen, because you have 10 tricks and you need to take them. So what we need to do here is go up with the ace, and obviously before we can take our clubs, we need to draw trumps. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start with 1 round of trumps. That's another round of trumps. That's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's still a round of trumps to go. And we're going to draw that last trump. And now we're going to go about taking our club trick. So we're going to take our queen and jack. And I suspect that some people, when they played this, they may have overtaken. But that's a mistake here, because to guarantee 4 club tricks, you need to take your ace, king, queen, and jack separately. Now your jack has won the trick. Now what you need to do is get to the south hand to cash the last 2 clubs. There's really only one way, which is with your queen of spades. But when that works, you can cash the ace and king and ruff that last heart. So that was perhaps a relatively straightforward one. But as I said, when this was played, most people did not make 4 spades. Most people went down. So that was all about thinking about the club situation, having to draw trumps with the queen jack, and then finding a way back to your hand. So you need to think about your entries here. Make sure you have an entry outside of the club suit to the club. So when you play the spades, make sure you keep a high spade here so that you can get back to your clubs after you've drawn trumps. Okay. Let's have a look at another one, and we're going to start this one with a quiz for you as to what North should bid with this hand. So there's going to be a poll coming up in a minute. Take a minute. Your partner has opened 1 no trump, and over to you as North. And I'm going to launch a poll in a moment as to what you think North should bid. I'll give you a little while to count your points. And then the poll is going to come out. So the question is going to be, what do you think North should bid?
4 no trumps.
Here comes the poll.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay, let's end the poll there, and I'm going to share the results with you. The majority here have gone for 4 no trump, 55%, followed by 6 no trump, 36%, and 1 person went for 3 clubs, 1 person went for 3 no trump. Well, how many points does North have? North has
21.
got 21 points. Your partner's got 12 to 14. So if you add your combined points, it comes to 33 to 35 points.
No trumps.
And with a balanced hand, with a fairly balanced hand, and at least 33 points, you should be bidding a small slam. You should not be thinking about asking for aces, and you should not be making any kind of invitational bid. I suggest you just go straight to 6 no trump with this hand. 3 clubs, by the way, would be showing that suit, but you don't really want to be suggesting playing in clubs here. You're probably much better off in 6 no trump. Those of you who said 4 no trump, some of you may have been intending that as blackwood, but 4 no trump in response to 1 no trump is not used as blackwood, but is used to invite game. It would be a hand where maybe you had 1 or 2 points less and you wanted to invite game by bidding 4 no trump, quantitative or invitational, giving your partner a chance of either passing 4 no trump or bidding 6 no trump. But here you know you have at least 33 points, so really you should take the bull by the horns and bid 6 no trump yourself. And let's suppose you do bid 6 no trump, and let's suppose West leads the 10 of hearts, and let's have a look at this hand from South's point of view. And I've got another question for you coming up, which is how many top tricks does Clara have? So there's going to be a poll in a moment, but I should count up how many top tricks you think Clara has. Give you a moment to count them up. And here comes the poll. How many top tricks have you got? So that's a very interesting answer for me. I'm going to end the poll and share the results with you. And fairly divided here. 39% said 10, and then the next one was 26% said 12, 13% said 11, and 22% said 9. Well, one of you is right, some of you are right, some of the rest of you are wrong. Well, what do we mean by top tricks? We mean tricks that we can take immediately without losing the lead. So if we count up the top tricks in each suit, I'm going to count no spades. I don't have any spade tricks that I can take right away. So do 0 spades. I'm going to count 2 hearts, the
3
ace and the
diamonds.
king. I'm going to count 3 diamonds.
5.
And how many
4.
clubs have I got?
5. 5. 5
And
clubs.
it should be definitely clubs. Those of you who are pessimistic can actually work out that with so many clubs, you've got 9 here. So the opponents have got 4. Even if they divide very badly for you, ace with all of them in one hand, you can take them all 4 with the ace, king, queen, jack, and you'll make a 5th club. So it does indeed come to 5, 6, 10 top tricks. Those of you who said 10 were correct, the rest of you were wrong. And you've got to think now about where you can make some extra tricks. You've got 10 top tricks, and I'm going to launch the final poll question for you now, which is what are you going to play on the lead of the 10 of hearts? So let me launch this as the last poll this evening. Which card should you play from dummy? Okay, we'll end that there. Okay, everyone's answered this time. And they share the results with you. Well, the majority, 75%, have gone for the ace, 4% went for the king, and 21% went for the jack. And those of you who went for the jack, I'm afraid, are wrong. You have 10 top tricks we just established, didn't we? So where are you going to make 2 more tricks from? Just unmute yourselves.
Clubs.
Where are you going to make
Clubs.
2 more? No, we've already counted 5 clubs. Okay,
Spades.
so we're going to make 2 spades. We have the queen, jack, king, queen, jack of spades, and we can make 2 tricks by playing on spades. So playing the jack here is sort of trying a finesse, but it's a completely needless risk, because even if the jack wins a trick here, you've still got to make an extra trick in spades. You're still going to play spades, and you'll still lose a trick. And if the hearts are as divided here, you will lose if you play the jack to the queen, and you will also then probably almost immediately lose to the ace of spades. So there's no need to try any finesse here. Play the ace or the king. Both answers are correct here. You can do whichever you like as declarer. There are no rules unless you think you can confuse the opponents. Play the ace or the king, whichever you prefer. And then immediately I would play the spades. You're always going to have to lose to the ace. Let's play a spade. If the opponents let you win that, well, that's only 11 tricks, so we still need to play another spade. Okay, and the opponents will take their ace. Whatever they play back now, you're going to win that, and now you'll be able to make the remaining tricks. You've got all your clubs to come. And your king of spades, the king of hearts, and the 2 diamonds at the end. So you didn't need to try any finesse. So it's so important to count your tricks. I think those of you who counted and found that a different number of top tricks other than 10, I think that's something you really ought to practice, because it's so important for you to work out how you're going to play the hand, knowing you need to make 2 more tricks in addition to your top tricks. So again, quite a straightforward hand to play, as long as you choose the right line and don't risk that heart finesse. Okay. Any comments or questions on that?
I think you counted all the clubs. Means if you play rightly, then you can count them, all the clubs. If you played wrongly, then you can't count them.
Well, that goes for everything, doesn't it? Right? Of course, you must play the suit correctly. I mean, the way you're going to play the clubs is winning in the shorthand, starting probably with the queen, the king, and the queen, then cross over, and you'll take your clubs. And it's very hard to go wrong. But yes, if you get stuck in the wrong hand and you have no entry to take your 5th club, you can go wrong. The same applies in diamonds. If I play the ace and king of diamonds on the same trick, then I won't make 3 tricks. So yes, it's a sort of understood that you've got to find the best way to play these suits. Any other comments or questions? We'll end the poll there. Sorry, end the talk there. I'm just going to ask if anyone